So before speaking about the glories of Lord Nityananda, first I'd like to offer my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Jagat Guru, Siddhasarupananda, Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada is the mercy manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, Gaura Karuna Swarupaya, and very dear to Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Prastayate. And I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like wish-fulfilling trees, able to fulfill all the desires of the fallen living entities, and are full of compassion upon them. Haribol, Namaste. So, and I thank you very much for inviting me to speak on Lord Nityananda's appearance day. It's a very nice opportunity. I appreciate it very much. And thank you to all the devotees at Congregational Kirtan who put on this wonderful celebration program for Lord Nityananda's appearance day and made it into a whole festival over many days. So it's very nice. Thank you very much for giving the devotees of Krishna the opportunity to hear the holy names of Krishna, especially at these auspicious appearance days. And of course, this week there's been so many appearance days. Yesterday was, I think it was yesterday, it was Lord Varaha's appearance day. And the previous day on Monday was an Ekadasi. And before that was Ramanuja Acharya's appearance day. And then before that, Madhva Acharya's appearance day. And also Dvaita Acharya's appearance day was not long ago. And then in another day or so, it'll be in Narottama Das Thakur's appearance day, the wonderful Vaishnava Acharya, who wrote so many beautiful songs, and in particular he wrote a very beautiful song about Lord Nityananda, about the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. And this song was very much a favorite of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Nitai Pada Kamala. And so we're very fortunate to be able to take shelter of Lord Nityananda. So I was going to speak a little bit about Lord Nityananda on his appearance day, to describe a little bit about who he is, who Lord Nityananda is, and about some of his wonderful pastimes that he manifested during his appearance in this world. And so Nitya means always or eternal, and Ananda means bliss or pleasure. So Nityananda means always blissful, always in pleasure. So Lord Nityananda is the form of eternal spiritual happiness and bliss. And so, of course, Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram himself. So Lord Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna, and is sometimes therefore known as the original spiritual master, because he's the first person advising us to surrender to Krishna, to take shelter of Krishna. And so I was going to speak from a couple of books about Lord Nityananda. And the first is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the leading biography of Lord Chaitanya and his pastimes. And so the second verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so in the first verse, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami first offers his obeisances unto the spiritual masters. And of course, this is always proper. One first offers their obeisances to their spiritual master before embarking on any endeavor. But then in the second verse of Adi Lila, of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the nectarine pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, he says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benedictions upon all. So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda are likened here to the sun and the moon. In other words, they're together and they're appearing together on the horizon of Bengal or Gauda. And their purpose of their appearance is to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benedictions upon us all. So Lord Chaitanya is, and Lord Nityananda are full of mercy upon the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. So when Krishna and Balaram appeared 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan Dham and manifested their original pastimes from Goloka Vrindavan, of course, they took great pleasure in the sporting activities of killing demons. And, Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, texts 7 and 8, he describes the reason why he appears in this world, why he and his incarnations appear. And they appear to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the devotees. Just trying to remember the Sanskrit anyway. Saranam Hari. Anyway, so they appear to annihilate the miscreants. And of course, in their pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, they annihilated many demons. Lord Balaram's, annihilated several demons, and Krishna, of course, annihilated many. And but in their appearance as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, their weapons are not the plow or the Sudarshan chakra, as their weapons are, or club. Lord Balaram carries in his hands a plow and a club, and his club, he used it often to smash the heads of the demons. That in their appearance as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, their weapon is the holy name, Harinama Sankirtan, the holy names of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda appear in Kali Yuga to break open the storehouse of Prema Bhakti. So in Krishna Lila, it's Krishna's pastimes. Of course, Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita and the Uddhava Gita, and manifests his pastimes. But Lord Chaitanya appears in the mood of a devotee and teaches us how to love Krishna in the mood of devotion. And he breaks open the storehouse of love for Krishna. And Lord Nityananda is his primary associate in carrying out these pastimes. And so we'll read in a little bit some of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda and the wonderful relationship between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as they engage in their pastimes. But, Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya. He appeared as Panchatattva. Pancha meaning fire, Tattva meaning truth. So the Panchatattva is Krishna in 5 features. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, I offer my obeisances under the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Shri Krishna, who has manifested himself in 5 as a devotee, expansion of a devotee, incarnation of a devotee, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So Lord Chaitanya, Krishna himself, covered in the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani, Gauranga, golden-limbed one. So he's golden in complexion, as he has Srimati Radharani's golden complexion. Radharani is known as Gauri, or golden one. And so Lord Chaitanya appears with the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. And so what is the mood of Srimati Radharani? It's pure love for Krishna in the highest stage of Prema Bhakti. So when Lord Chaitanya appears, he appears with his principal associates, or Lord Nityananda, his first expansion. The incarnation of Krishna, or incarnation of a devotee, Sri Advaita, a pure devotee, Sri Vas, and devotional energy, Krishna's internal pastime, Gadadhar Pandit. So the Panchatattvas, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shivasadi, Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So all these are simultaneously one with yet distinct. So in other words, these are all the different manifestations of Krishna appearing with him. And when he appears as Lord Chaitanya. So in the beginning of the Adi Lila, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes Lord Nityananda Rama as an expansion of Krishna, and he glorifies him in 5 verses from Adi Lila, text chapter 1, text 7 through 11. And in these he describes that may Sri Nityananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance, Sankarsana, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk, and are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. So in Krishna's wonderful technology, spiritual technology, he first expands himself as Lord Balaram. And then Lord Balaram from there expands himself into the different Vishnu, forms of Vishnu, and then the forms of Vishnu which manifest this material world. Lord Vishnu, or Karanadakashayi Vishnu, who lies on the causal ocean of the Mahat and manifests all the universes. And then Garbhadakashayi Vishnu, who lies within the ocean of this particular universe, and from whose navel grows a lotus flower upon which Lord Brahma takes his birth. And then Kashiradakashayi Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk and is the super soul. So all of these are expansions of Lord Balaram. And in Adi Lila in chapter 5, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes into great depth to explain Lord Nityananda and his expansions. And I won't go into it any further because it's actually quite very sort of philosophical, whereas being rather sort of simple devotees of Krishna, we like to hear the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. So I'll move on to the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. So there's a very nice book about Lord Nityananda, known as Nityananda Charitamrita. So the nectarine pastimes of Lord Nityananda. And this book, not very well known, but it's by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is the original, or I shouldn't perhaps say the original, but the first of the main biographers of Lord Chaitanya. And he wrote the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which wonderful book which contains mainly the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami contains much more philosophy and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. In the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the discussions of Lord Chaitanya with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, with Ramananda Roy, Prakasananda Saraswati, and Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami contain within these 5 conversations really the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And these are, which Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada summarized in one of his first books, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is like, it's the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in these 5 principal conversations. And so these teachings of Lord Chaitanya, they are the essence of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which we are descended within. And so these are, this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita contains these wonderful teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And this is why the Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered to be the most important biography of Lord Chaitanya, because in it, his teachings are presented and given to us. But the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has many more pastimes, particularly the early pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Navadvip before he takes sannyas and moves to Jagannath Puri and then tours around India. So in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila is Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Navadvip. Madhya Lila is Lord Chaitanya's pastimes initially in Jagannath Puri and then his tour of South India. And then the Ancha Lila is his final years when he's just completely absorbed in devotional ecstasy and the mood of Srimati Radharani, his final years in Jagannath Puri. Whereas in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, the division is his Adhikand is Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Navadvip prior to his taking initiation from Ishvara Puri and then commencing his Harinam Sankirtan movement, so then Lord Chaitanya's then time after, once he begins his Sankirtan movement in Navadvip, this is then Madhyakand in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And then after Lord Chaitanya takes sannyas and goes to Jagannath Puri and tours India, that is the Anchakand in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. So anyway, so in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, there are many more pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he then also wrote Nityananda Charitamrita, Sri Nityananda Charitamrita. And in the Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, he took all the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, which are included within the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and then added some additional chapters and some additional information about Lord Nityananda's pastimes. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of Sri Nityananda Charamrita. So in his auspicious Mangalacharana, Mangalacharana means auspicious invocation. So in his auspicious invocation to Sri Nityananda Charamrita, he says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto my worshipable Lord Sri Nityananda Raya. By his mercy, the glories of Lord Chaitanya become manifest. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the thousand-headed Lord Balaram. His thousands of mouths are the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. As valuable jewels are kept in a favorite place, so the jewel-like glories of Lord Krishna are kept in the jewelry case of Lord Ananta's mouth. So Lord Ananta, of course, is Ananta Sesha, is the form of Balaram, the expansion Lord Balaram, who through his mystic powers floats all the universes. And he has thousands or uncountable mouths, out of which he is always glorifying Lord Krishna and glorifying the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And so here Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is likening his thousands of mouths of Ananta Sesha's mouths are the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. As valuable jewels are kept in a favorite place, so the jewel-like glories of Lord Krishna are kept in the jewelry case of Lord Ananta's mouths. The Supreme Lord Balaram carries a plow and possesses a gigantic body. Although exceptionally grave, he is intoxicated by the glories of Lord Chaitanya. There is no one dearer to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya eternally enjoys pastimes with him. Shri Krishna Chaitanya becomes most satisfied with one who hears or chants the glories of Lord Nityananda. So a couple of very important points here. You know, that no one is dearer to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. No one. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya eternally enjoys pastimes with him. And Lord Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, becomes most satisfied with one who chants, who hears or chants the glories of Lord Nityananda. So it's, it's sometimes said or often said that if one wants to come to Lord Chaitanya, one has to please Lord Nityananda. And, this was most manifested in the pastime of Jagai and Madai, which I'll speak about in a moment. But it was only through the intervention of Lord Nityananda that Lord Chaitanya did not use his Sudarsana Chakra to cut off the heads of Jagai and Madai. Madai, of course, who had thrown the piece of pottery that had actually cut the forehead of Lord Nityananda and drawn blood. And Lord Chaitanya, hearing about this, comes with his Sudarsana Chakra and is ready to cut their heads off. But Lord Nityananda intercedes and, tells Lord Chaitanya about how Jagai had actually tried to stop Madai from doing this and had actually become angry at Madai for attacking Lord Nityananda. And then Madai, seeing Jagai being forgiven by Lord Chaitanya, then pleads that he also be forgiven. But Lord Chaitanya explains to to Madai, that he can't forgive him for hurting Lord Nityananda. He's physically injured Lord Nityananda, so he can't forgive him. The only one who can forgive him is Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda then forgives Madai. And so in this Jagai and Madai, of course, are the most fallen, right? The most fallen. They're born in a Brahmana family, but became very, they became drunkards, meat eaters, rapists, murderers. It's described that every crime you can think of, they had committed. And so they're most demoniac. And so anyway, Lord Nitya, through Lord Nityananda, forgives them. So of course in Krishna's pastimes, the most, Krishna and Balaram's pastimes, one of the most famous pastimes, in which Srila Prabhupada loves to, or has regularly spoken about, how Lord Balaram kills Ramasan Sutta with a kusha, a simple blade of grass, a kusha store, because Ramasan Sutta didn't stand to show respect to Lord Balaram on his entrance at the gathering of sages at Naimisharanya. So without further ado, and considering Ramasan Sutta's birth as being in a mixed family, so not in a pure Brahminical family, decided to kill him on the spot. So the contrast with Lord Nityananda, couldn't be stronger. On the one hand, Lord Balaram is killing someone who didn't stand up to show respect, and yet he's completely, as Lord Nityananda, he is interceding with Lord Chaitanya to not harm these demoniac personalities who are committing all kinds of heinous sins, and have even struck Lord Nityananda with a piece of pottery and drawn blood. So it's said that we should take shelter of Lord Nityananda and pray to Lord Nityananda that he please forgive us for all we are just as he forgives Jagai and Madai who are so fallen, that he please forgive us who are so fallen and intercede on our behalf with Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, and give us love for Krishna. So as Srila Vrindavan Das, of course, says here, Sri Krishna Chaitanya becomes most satisfied with one who hears or chants the glories of Lord Nityananda. So on the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, we can take this opportunity to hear and chant about the glories of Lord Nityananda. And he further says, those who wish to cross the ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional service should worship Lord Nityananda. So this is the advice of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. We want to cross this miserable ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional service, of prema bhakti. We should worship Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda, he appeared in the village of Ekachakra in Bengal, or it's known as part of Radha Desh. And his father was Harai Pandit, a simple Brahmana, and his mother was Padmavati. Lord Nityananda was their eldest son. And it's described in the Sri Nityananda Charamrita and also in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, the pastimes of Lord Nityananda as a boy, where he would always enact the pastimes of Krishna and Lord Rama, and and how he was constantly engaging in these pastimes. And there's the narration of the pastime where he, was playing as Lord Rama, I think it was Lord Rama, anyway, lost consciousness and could only be restored to consciousness when one of the boys who was acting as Hanuman brings herbs on a mountain, so to put under his nose to resuscitate him. So anyway, wonderful childhood pastimes of Lord Nityananda with his boyfriends. But anyway, when Lord Nityananda was 12, a sannyasi arrived and spent the night at Hadai Pandit and Padmavati's house. And in the morning, this sannyasi asked Hadai Pandit if he could ask for a benediction or from him. Hadai Pandit, of course, says, of course. And then the sannyasi then uttered words that completely shattered the heart of Hadai Pandit. He asked Hadai Pandit, I am a wandering sannyasi, and I would like to have a brahmachari to accompany me, and I would like to take your son Nityananda. So this Hadai Pandit is absolutely devastated, and absolutely devastated. And he recalls how Dasharatha had to give up Lord Rama when a sage asked for Lord Rama to come and stay at his ashram. And so in the mood of Dasharatha, Hadai Pandit spoke with Padmavati and asked, what should we do? And she said, whatever you think is proper. So Hadai Pandit had to reluctantly agree to Lord Nityananda leaving and accompanying this sannyasi. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his commentary on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, says that there's different discussion about who this sannyasi might have been, but it's said that he may have been Vishvarup, the elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, who'd left home and taken sannyas. And of course, after Vishvarup left home and took sannyas, then Mother Sachi was always in great fear that Lord Chaitanya would do the same thing, that her beloved Nimai would also take sannyas. And of course, this came to pass. But anyway, so then Lord Nityananda, he accompanied this sannyas for a while, and then on his own traveled throughout all of India, visiting all kinds of holy places, even going to Bhadragasharama and the Himalayas, and there meeting Srila Vyasadeva. So then, as he further wandered, Lord Nityananda was the disciple of Lakshmi, I'm forgetting his Lakshmi Pada, I think, or anyway, and another disciple of Lord Nityananda's spiritual master was Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri, of course, is the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master. But anyway, during Lord Nityananda's wandering, he came upon Madhavendra Puri. And so this was a wonderful incident. And I'll just read a little bit from the discussion between Madhavendra Puri and Lord Nityananda. So Madhavendra Puri said, I've never seen such ecstatic love. Wherever there's such prema is my favorite holy place. I know Krishna has given me his mercy since he's given me such a friend as Nityananda. Wherever one finds Nityananda's company is the most sacred and transcendental place. That devotee who hears the name of Nityananda will certainly attain the lotus feet of Krishna Chandra. If one has the slightest envy for Nityananda, Krishna never favors him. even if he is a devotee. So after that, then Lord Nityananda continued his pastimes of touring, and then he went and was resident in Vrindavan Dham, waiting for Lord Chaitanya to manifest his pastimes. So Lord Nityananda knew well that Lord Gaurachandra was living incognito in Navadvip. In other words, Lord Chaitanya had not yet manifested himself as a devotee of Krishna and had not begun his Sankirtan movement. Lord Chaitanya was, in fact, at this time was a scholar at a Sanskrit school, and he would engage in debate, and the Vaishnavas would actually, simultaneously being attracted to this wonderful boy and scholar, that they would avoid him because he would just debate Nyaya philosophy. So anyway, Lord Nityananda knew well that Lord Gaurachandra was living incognito at Navadvip. He thought to himself, I will go and serve Lord Gauranga when he manifests his opulence. He therefore did not go to Navadvip directly, but remained in Mathura. He regularly enjoyed sporting in the water of the Jamuna and playing with the children in Vrindavan. Although Lord Nityananda is omnipotent, he did not distribute devotional service to the Lord at that time. So Lord Nityananda was an avadut, or not bound by any rules or regulations of the Varnashram Dharma system, though he's a sannyas. He's just living as an avadut, just wandering here and there, and essentially, having nothing. And he's playing with the children in Vrindavan. No, he's an adult man. He's just playing like a child and sporting in the water of the Jamuna. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur further glorifies Lord Nityananda here. He says, just see for yourself how Lord Nityananda Prabhu blessed the people of this universe with the treasure of prema. Nityananda Raya is the foremost devotee of Lord Chaitanya, since the glories of Lord Chaitanya always dance on his tongue, day and night. Day and night, Lord Nityananda chants the glories of Lord Chaitanya. When one worships Lord Nityananda, he surely attains devotion for Lord Chaitanya. So once Lord Nityananda began hearing in Vrindavan Dham of the activities of Lord Chaitanya in Navadvip, that Lord Chaitanya had commenced his Sankirtan movement, and Lord Nityananda came to Navadvip and engaged in the Sankirtan movement with Lord Chaitanya. And so the arrival of Lord Nityananda in Navadvip is described most wonderfully in the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And during the pastimes of Lord Nityananda in Navadvip Dham, the most famous incident, of course, is of Jagai Madai, which I already spoke on. And, as I mentioned, in Krishna's pastimes, Lord Balaram kills the envious and demoniac. But as Lord Nityananda, he begs Lord Chaitanya to shower his mercy upon them. And so I might just read a little bit of these pastimes. He, Lord Nityananda, had already decided to deliver these two fallen souls. He thus purposely came to their place that night. Hearing the name Avadutta, Madai became extremely angry. He picked up his pitcher and hit Lord Nityananda on the head. As the pitcher hit Lord Nityananda's head, it cut him and he started bleeding. Nityananda Prabhu simply remembered Govinda. Seeing Lord Nityananda's bleeding head, Jagai became compassionate. He forbade Madai from hitting the Lord again. Jagai said, "Why did you do such a cruel thing? What did you gain by killing a beggar? Leave him, leave him. It's no good to kill a sannyasi." And then after Lord Chaitanya came, seeing blood on Nityananda Prabhu's head, Lord Chaitanya went into a trance and began to invoke his Sudarshan Chakra. The Sudarshan Chakra instantly appeared there, and Jagai and Madai personally saw it. All the devotees became totally perplexed. In the meantime, Lord Nityananda quickly began to persuade the Lord. Lord Nityananda said, "O Lord, when Madai tried to hit me again, this Jagai actually saved me. Just by chance, blood came out. I'm not at all disturbed. O Lord, I beg you, please give me these two bodies and arms. Please be calm, for I have no distress." As soon as Lord Chaitanya heard that Jagai actually saved Nityananda Prabhu, he became pleased and embraced Jagai. The Lord said to Jagai, "May Krishna be merciful to you. You have purchased me by saving Nityananda. Ask for any boon you so desire. From today, you will achieve loving devotional service." Then, as I mentioned, Madai appealed to the Lord. "O Lord, both Jagai and I committed sins together. Why then do you discriminate in giving your mercy? Please be merciful to me, and I'll surely chant your holy names. There is no one else in the world who can save me." The Lord said, "I see no hope for your salvation. You dared to cut Nityananda's body and make it bleed." The Lord said, "You committed a grave offense at the feet of Nityananda. Now fall at his lotus feet and beg your pardon." Ordered by the Lord, Madai at once caught hold of the invaluable wealth of Lord Nityananda's lotus feet, which are well known to Revati. Vishwambara said to Nityananda Prabhu, "Listen, Nityananda, it is proper that if someone falls at your lotus feet, you should be merciful to him. Since he made you bleed, only you can forgive him. Now he has surrendered unto you." Nityananda replied, "O Lord, what can I say? You can bestow mercy to anyone, even to a tree. If I have any piety amassed from previous births, I'm giving it all to Madai. I'm telling you the truth. I don't care for the offenses he's done to me. O Lord, please remove your illusory energy and be merciful. This Madai belongs to you." Vishwambara said, "If you've indeed forgiven all his offenses, then please embrace him so his life will be successful." Instructed by the Lord, Nityananda Prabhu tightly embraced Madai. All his material bondage and massive sins were destroyed. Nityananda Prabhu entered the body of Madai, and thus Madai became fully equipped with all the energies of the Lord. Thus, both Jagai and Madai were delivered. They then offered prayers at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. So, a wonderful pastime. So, yeah, you can come. So we're going to chant in just a few minutes, but just a couple of other pastimes I was going to mention. There was one time a Brahmana had doubts about Lord Nityananda because of Lord Nityananda's unconventional activities. So Nityananda enacted his pastimes in Navadvip. He made everyone in this world fully attached to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda Prabhu, the abode of transcendental effulgence, wandered all over Navadvip with his most enthusiastic associates. He decorated himself with beautiful ornaments and flower garlands, betel nuts, and camphor reddened his lips. Seeing the extraordinary pastimes of Lord Nityananda, many people became happy, while others did not know what to make of him. A Brahmana who lived in Navadvip, who was a classmate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing the mysterious behavior of Nityananda, this Brahmana got a gout. He had firm faith and devotion to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Chandra, but he failed to understand the potency of Nityananda Swarup. So this Brahmana asked Lord Chaitanya about the behavior of Lord Nityananda. Lord Chaitanya then described how one should never be to judge or be envious of a devotee of Krishna. But then Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh Brahman, I've explained the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam to you. Don't maintain the slightest doubt about Nityananda Swarup. He is the most exalted personality. Unfortunate people are unable to understand him. Accept his uncommon activities, then you'll surely be delivered. He incarnated simply to deliver the fallen souls. He'll liberate all living beings. His dealings are above all rules and regulations. Who has the power to understand him? Anyone who blasphemes Nityananda without knowing his unfathomable qualities, even if that person achieved Vishnu Bhakti, is doomed. O Brahmana, go to Navadvip and explain this truth to everyone. If anyone blasphemes Nityananda Prabhu in any way, no one will be able to protect that person from Yamaraj's punishment. One who loves him actually loves me. I'm telling you the truth. Even if Nityananda marries a Muslim girl or enters a wine shop, he is still worshipable by Lord Brahma. This is my verdict." So these are the pastimes, the wonderful pastimes of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Yeah, so then later on, Lord Chaitanya asked Lord Nityananda to return to Bengal and get married. And Lord Nityananda then married Sri Janava, the incarnation of Revati and Ananga Manjari, and her sister Vasudha. And then Lord Nityananda's son, Virachandra, was an incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. And he and Janava Ishwari, or Janava, then spread Gaudiya Vaishnavism widely in Bengal. And these pastimes of Janava Mata and Virachandra are described in the Bhakti Ratnakara by Narahari Chakravarti Thakur. So anyway, so all glories to Lord Nityananda, and thanks for watching and listening. Haribol, we're going to chant for a few more minutes until the next people take over. Thank you. Haribol.
Haribol. All glories to Lord Nityananda. Nityananda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Gora Nityananda, Nitai Haribo. Oh, Nitai Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Haribo. Oh, Nitai Haribo. Nityananda Chaitanya Haribo. Chaitanya Haribo. Nityananda Chaitanya Haribo. Chaitanya Haribo. Nityananda 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 Haribo. Haribo, thank you everyone.
Haribo, namaste.
Thank you for
Thank you very
having
much.
us.